I watch a lot of Disney stuff, like the Disney parks and theme park stuff, like Yesterworld and Offhand Disney, where they talk about the rides and the histories of the rides and the history of the parks themselves. So I love theme parks. Now that I can go to them again, I'm super excited to go to like Silver Dollar City and Six Flags and stuff. And I've got like plans to go to Disney 2 more times just this year alone because I love the Disneyland parks that are amazing.
So are you on the coasters yet? Or are you still working?
In December, I finally got to ride the Incredicoaster and Space Mountain and the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And I've been to Disneyland a half dozen times, normally for the food and for the shows. Right.
Yeah. They have good food.
Yeah. I ate once. I was there for like 16 hours. I ate once that day because I was like, oh, I am finally starving. I will grab some food to go and go eat it in a queue line.
One of the saddest things I've ever seen in regards to someone being overweight and not being able to do a thing was a roller coaster. Because, like, if you don't have I always get the fast pass, and I'm not going to go through the whole fast pass thing again, but always get a fast pass so you don't sit in fucking lines. You're literally paying like 250% normal ticket price, but you're getting 1,000% the experience because you're not sitting in 3-hour lines. You're sitting in 5-minute, 10-minute lines. You can ride the same ride 8 times in a row, and I did in some cases. It just over and over. Then I get the VIP bracelet, so I don't even get off after I ride it once. I just sit there and ride it again while the person behind me in line is like, oh, it's our turn? And I'm just like, no, it's not. Ka-chunk again. Well, we're on the roller coaster, and
it's a ball and move. You unbuckle just to be like, nah, I think I'll go around.
But at Six Flags, that's just like a couple $100 extra, right?
Yeah.
Well, at Disney, it's like $6,000. It's like,
and they don't even have as good of rides. If you ask me, Disney rides aren't as good as Six Flags.
Cedar Point has the best rides in Ohio. But anyway,
I've read that. Like, I'm really into roller coasters, and I've done a little bit of research. But anyway, what happened was we're on like Superman the ride at Six Flags over Georgia, and it's the one that like tilts you forward, and you're literally in the Superman position flying. It's very cool. And we're going for our second pass. The thing opens up, and they were like, nope, clickety clack. And this very large woman with a normal human-sized boyfriend or guy friend or something get in, and they get into like the little bicycle seat, cup your balls harness, and he goes ka-chunk, and then she gets in, and like the bicycle seat harness doesn't clear her pussy or even get close to it. It's like still back around her asshole. And so like there's no way that this thing is going to come down and ka-kunk. And like if she goes ka-chunk, she loses her whole fupa. Like it's gonna get mangled into the mechanism, and she's just like, and the guy comes over and he looks up at her, and he's just like, I don't think it's gonna happen. and so her friend goes clickety clack, and he gets out of it, and they leave. And they did not have the fast pass, so they had stood in the hot ass sun beating down on you line for a minimum of an hour and 45 minutes, but could have been 3 hours. And just got turned away to the fucking food court.
That's a shame. That is sad.
It is sad.
We didn't laugh. We felt bad.
You do feel bad. Like, I remember I was waiting for the Batman at the St. Louis Six Flags. Like, I was probably 15. Like,
were you too tall for the ride, Taylor?
No.
Were they like, you're an adult man?
I was like 15. We were in line with some friends and just chatting. And like maybe 10, 12 people ahead of us, there was this guy who must have been 6'6", and I'm not exaggerating here, 5,000 pounds.
You might be exaggerating.
Okay, I might be a little hyperbolic, but he was the size of man that my first thought wasn't like, wow, that guy is enormous. My first thought was like, what does he think's going to happen when he gets up to the Batman? Like, this is you sit in your little even tight harness on normal adult men, pull your little strap down, and then you go. Like, what, has he never been on the ride? Is he not seeing people fly over us right now in this ride? Like, what does he think is going to happen? And like, once we got up there and he got seated, we were kind of like still entering the room, so you couldn't quite, see his reaction or anything, but you could see him trying to sit down with whoever he was with, it not making it, and then him have to get off and leave. And my only reaction was to like turn away, because I felt so bad and I was so embarrassed.
You couldn't have taken 2 seats? Does that not work? That probably
no,
doesn't work.
They're like bucket seats where you have to, and it's like a bucket seat with like that post that goes between your legs and then the clickety thing that goes down. And so you can't spill over your seat if you don't fit.
It's
in
a
your
great
seat,
ride.
And he was even in lines 4 and 5, which are the plus size lines.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that could fool someone into thinking that there were accommodations? Because I've got that in my head the whole time. They'll accommodate him is what he's thinking.
Oh, yeah. But if you're 6'6" and 600 pounds, everybody notices you lumbering off. Like,
it's not going to happen.
Have you ever had experience like that, Boogie?
Well, in December, I never tried, right? Like I was just like, I know I'm too fat at 550, right? Like, what planet are they going to build rides for my fat ass, right? And I probably could have done like the Haunted Mansion or something like that, but I didn't even want to bother doing that. I was just like, I'm here for the food and for the fun. When I lose the weight, and I know I will, that's when I'll do it, right? So we were fully prepared at 360. I was about 360 last December, a little closer to 340 today, and I was fully prepared for a blowout and to go into full Francis mode. So when we got to the Incredicoaster, I had my friend McJuggernuggets with me. I'm like, grab your camera, Adam, grab your camera and start filming, because if I don't fit in this thing, I'm going full on Francis for a viral video.
Yeah.
And nope, I slid right in. I was like, oh my God. And so instead they have footage of me successfully getting in the coaster.
See, you need to find rides that like no grown man can fit into.
Right.
And try to get on those.
Like circular swing set thing
Mr.
where they spin you in the air.
Mr. Boogie, these horses are 18 inches tall. You can't sit on this.
I don't give a shit. You put one of these fucking horses under me, I'm riding this bitch.
It's a baby carnival. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I like Taylor's idea of that big giant swing set where you're hanging from the chains. I just imagine just the inertia of
in the end, it was the centrifugal force that caused the collapse, leading to the deaths of one very large man and 11 disappointed children.
It would be even funnier though if I was so fat that the centrifugal force couldn't get me off the ground, so I was like running and goes,
The whole thing is just teetering. The kids are screaming.
Man, this makes me want to go to
that. It's going so well. That's great that you were. That must have been such a cool feeling. After going to those places, I could never go to a roller coaster park and not ride the roller coasters. Like I skip eating and stuff when I go to roller coaster parks because I'm like, no, I'm here all day.
Exactly,
I'm going to ride roller coasters 100% of the time. Oh, my whole group is feeling sick. I don't care. I'm going alone.
I don't like it when my group wants to make a big thing of eating. Like, to me, like, we're not there. First of all, the food's crazy expensive. Like, a lemonade is like $18 or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Do they sell you on the refillable cup where you go?
All right, now, first of all, the answer is yes, and my take on the refillable cup is I always get it. First of all, I have them somewhere in the kitchen. Second of all, I drink at least 3,000 or 4,000 calories worth of lemonade throughout that day. Like, I usually go in July or something like that. It's a big, tall-ass frozen lemonade.
That's a disadvantage. No, see, I'm on the other team with this one because they're like, the drink might be $24, but you get to keep this cup, a plastic piece of shit cup the size of a human head, and we'll refill it for you if you want. Dude, what am I going to do with the bucket all day long? Like, I have to carry this bucket around from roller coaster to roller coaster?
You just sit it next to your girlfriend's purse.
I just want to drink this and throw it away, and if I get thirsty, I want to buy another one.
My refillable cup is I buy their $9 Dasani and then just go to the water fountain.
Smart,
And then if I'm like, I don't want to lug this around, I throw it away and blow another $9 on Dasani. My beverage fund, my water fund has no, even beer. It's like $11. You know what? That's rolled into the price of this. I guess I'll have one. But
yeah, I had no problem buying. I always buy it. And at Six Flags Over Georgia, it seems like you're always running into one of the carts where you can refill it. Like, it's not like you're like hunting that guy down. There's like 30 of those carts and you could just go up and refill your thing. But I don't want to go into like the sit down restaurants. Like, I want to grab a corn dog on the way to the next roller coaster. Like, I don't want to waste. I want to spend the entire day riding as many. First of all, we're riding every single coaster in the park. The question is, how many times are we going to ride every roller coaster in the park?
Well, you do, like, the way I do it always is like at Cedar Point. If you've never been to Cedar Point and you like roller coasters, anyone out there, go to Cedar Point. It's in Ohio. It's fucking incredible. It's insane. Like, my ideal plan is like I ride everything once and then I've done my fact-finding mission. And then I narrow that down to usually like 40% of those, the top tits ones, and I'll ride those a few more times. Then you narrow it down even more. And by the end of the day, you got one that you're just over and over doing. And the ideal eating situation in a park is for me to be buckling in and the guy saying, "Sir, you have to finish your corn dog." And so I'm like, I got it. I sprinted.
Hold this stick.
Yeah.
I
Imagine
did
the balls. I hold this till I get back.
I did learn an interesting lesson about myself at Disney because
Uh-huh.
I was always afraid with my anxiety disorder I would not enjoy roller coasters. Turns out I don't. I just scream the whole time I'm on them. And so if Adam the Woo is filmed a lot of the video that we did at Disney, it's literally me riding Space Mountain and screaming I ruined everybody else's experience. I know that I did. Why is it like this? Why can't I see anything? Who's enjoying this? Like,
Space Mountain is a roller coaster for
understand.
babies, Boogie. That is a weak
and
ass. That is
was
some pussy
terrifying.
shit you're screaming at.
You know how they say not to put your hands up there because they're like, you can lose your hand. I remember making my brother cry when we were very little because I was like, he was like, put your arms down, Taylor. Put your arms down. You're gonna lose your hands. I wanted to be like, I'm fucking 10. No, I'm not.
We got
Like,
on
I'm not
The
gonna
Incredicoaster was way more intense because it does
Is
like
it?
the loops and stuff, right?
yeah.
But Space Mountain being in the dark is what really got me. I don't know why. That was terrifying. You can't see anything.
I
What
like
was that
those.
fun for?
There's one at Six Flags that goes. It's like I can't think of the name, but it goes into like a mine shaft, and there's a part where and it sprays you with mist, which is wonderful on a hot, awful, humid day anyway, because you're like moving 50 miles per hour, getting sprayed with mist in the dark, and then out of nowhere it goes down. You have no way to like prepare yourself or like brace yourself. It's just yoom, and you're fucking down, and you don't know when it's gonna stop. You can't see the bottom. It's great in the dark.
I don't like the dark ones because like unless I'm out in the light, I don't have a way to gauge how fast I'm going, and that's the fun part of roller coasters is how fast you're going. And like if I'm out in the open, I can see something and I'm like, holy fuck, there's a highway right there, and it looks like those cars are standing still.
The two scariest rides I've ever been on are Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia. It goes really high, and you're not in. They always mess with and come up with new things for you to sit in. And in Goliath, it's not a booth type thing, you know, where you like get in, you slide into like a bench and like pull the lap bar down. No, you sit on a tiny stool essentially, and there's a lap bar that's big enough for one person that's all cushiony that goes down just over your thighs. It's holding you in by your thighs alone, and you're just like, I feel like I could just get out if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's clickety, 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 clickety. And it's so goddamn high. I don't know how high, but I'm going to say 200 feet or something. And I just remember
200 feet in the sky.
when you get to the top, but I just remember on the way up being like, kind of wish I weren't here right now. If I could do this and just not be here anymore, I would probably do it. It is so goddamn scary. But then I wrote it again right after. But the scariest ride is acrophobia, which is the fear of heights, right? Acrophobia. And it is the thing that you get in, and it literally just takes you straight up over 200 feet and then drops you straight down. And they do that bullshit where they're like, hey, welcome to Six Flags Over Georgia. You are now 210 feet above in the Georgia sky. If you look off to the east, you'll see Atlanta, Georgia. And that is the Georgia Dome. And what is that, Mike? Did the bolt come loose? All right, stop. And then he'll drop you. He'll like pull some bullshit like that. He'll act like there's a problem with the fucking mechanism. and like he's nervous and scared, and then he drops your ass. And it's a free fall all the way to the ground, and it doesn't start slowing down until you're 20 feet from the ground. And it goes, woo. And when it stops, you're inches from the ground. Like
It's just one of the drop rides, but it's a big
straight.
one.
Yeah.
It's just straight down, but it's so straight down and so fast. And we get to the top, and he's going through his bullshit spiel. And I've already done it a couple times. It's still terrifying. But my friend next to me, and we're like shoulder to shoulder, he is terrified. We're in like the 10th grade in high school. And I reach over to his and start trying to break his loose, like literally trying to like pull him out of the ride and throw him out 200 feet in the air. Of course, the mechanism isn't going to come undone. I'm peeling at the foam, plasticky shit, and tearing it off of his. I'm like, look at this. It's so cheap. It's just tearing apart. And he's like, stop it.
Are you damaging the equipment, Kyle?
A little. Yeah.
just enough to be funny though.
Dude,
Just enough
I
to
love
terrify
roller
him.
coasters. I like all of them. I haven't been on the ones you're talking about, but I haven't been on one yet that I don't want to be on again. Like I love them.
Same.
But
I'm
hearing this, and I'm like,
I will do Space Mountain again, and I will do sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'll do Space Mountain. I'll do Incredicoaster again. If any of you done the Guardians of the Galaxies ride,
No, is that Disneyland, Disney World?
It's a drop ride, and it's the replacement for the Tower of Terror. And the Tower of Terror like dropped like once or maybe twice, but apparently the Guardians of the Galaxy ride can drop you as much as 4 or 5 times. And we got like the 4 drop. And the first drop was okay. The second one, I was over it. The third one, I did not want to do this anymore. And yeah, I will never. That's the only thing I'll ever not ride. What's the point of a drop ride other than to feel your testicles come out of your mouth? What is the point?
I think they're
right?
fun. They do them well.
Like drop rides either.
I like all the rides, but they drop you, and like I go on a drop ride, and in my head I'm like, all right, I'm a roller coaster veteran. This won't scare me. But they do. They scare me with the drop, and they scare me with the timing, where like, all right, I anticipate the drop. They drop you like 6 inches. They drop you 1 inch. They drop you 12 inches. They drop you 300 feet or whatever it is. Yeah. But I'm hearing Kyle talk about these rides, and I want to take them on. I bought tandem paramotor equipment today. It's not here for a few weeks, but I'm like, I'll take you on a ride. I swear to God, it will ruin roller coasters for you.
I get sick with like twirly stuff and like that sort of thing.
That is a concern. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it again and again. But I'm hearing 200 feet, and I'm like, dude, 4,000 to 500. I think that's
ever been sucked up into a cloud?
I can't wait to share this experience.
Dude, one of the roller coasters from Cedar Point, my favorite one from Cedar Point, was the Millennium Force, which says here 310 feet tall, and it's a traditional roller coaster. So you're on a roller coaster.
Is it
the top
wooden?
speed of it? No, it's metal. It's 93 miles an hour is the top speed. And so the first time I was on it, like I was like, it was so fast. Like I'd never felt my organs push back like that. Like it was that fucking until I went on the roller coaster there that goes 125 miles an hour, and then that was more intense.
That's really fast.
And so
I got to go to this place now because
it's sick, dude.
The ones in Atlanta, I think, go like 70, 75. You're talking about 95, 120. There's one of them in Atlanta that makes me black out when I get to the bottom of the loop.
Oh wow!
It's a stand-up coaster, so it's more likely to get the blood to leave your brain, but it does like a backwards like loop, like you're going backwards and doing a loop. And when it does that backwards loop and you get to the bottom of that again, like gravity is doing, and the centrifugal force is driving all of the blood away from your brain. And every time I go through that loop and get to the bottom of it, I'm like, I'm blind. Oh, here we are again. Oh! It's great.
Cedar Point. I went to Cedar Point, but it's so long ago. For all intents and purposes, haven't been there. Like 20 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, they probably got a lot of new rides.
Yeah, but that is they pride themselves on being the best roller coaster place in America. And if someone's better, they just remedy that.
I bet the Japanese are good at that shit because they've got they seem to be really have that advanced like maglev train technology. You would think that they're the same companies that are into that or
they just fuck with you in another way. Like, it's not attached. It gets further from the track and scares you. You just get sucked back on. That'd be fun.
I'd like that. Those are the cool rides that they have now anyway, that instead of dragging you up a hill and letting gravity take over, they use the magnetic, the electromagnets.
They like propulse you.
Of course, the fastest roller coaster in the world is in the United Arab Emirates, and it goes 150 miles an hour.
What the fuck?
God, why?
I like both, Kyle. I like the ones where you're at the bottom and they just jet you up the hill. That's a neat way to start, and it can be a little surprising the first couple times. But I also like the anticipation and the unease that comes with that chain ratcheting and the whole roller coaster seemingly falling back a link every so often. Like what happened? What just happened with that part? Was that on purpose?
And like as much as they like to fuck with you, like the operators about, got a little trouble here, folks. I've been to enough roller coaster parks and days of doing it. You see some of those instances where it's like, oh, look, everybody on the Ninja's stuck upside down. And then you go get your corn dog and you come back and you're like, I'm getting a little sunburn out here. You got the sunscreen? Yeah, I'm going to put it on. Hey, are they still upside down on the Ninja?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Most dangerous roller coaster that I ever heard of.
It really isn't.
It's not even that cool. It's called the Mouse. It's in Ocean City, New Jersey. it probably goes, I don't know, 19, 23 miles an hour. Somebody dies every year on that fucking thing.
Are you serious?
Yes, people get decapitated by loose cables. People lose limbs. Like that
Don't
shit.
sleep on the
that
mouse.
that is like a carny operated but permanent like roller coaster that's just poorly maintained. Like it's don't sleep on the mouse, man. That'll fuck you up.
Is it one of those roller coasters that like you'll see at a fair and you walk over to it and you're like, did they just fold this out of a box?
Yes,
Like,
but they leave it there every
constructed
year.
This afternoon.
They have a permanent place for it. It's probably not there anymore, but this is me growing up, and it was a temporary roller coaster permanently at this place, Jillian's at 7th Street or something, and yeah, that guy who effectively killed someone every so often was our mayor.
I got assaulted.
Pretty fun.
I got assaulted at Six Flags when I was 16. We were standing in line for what's it called? The Scream Machine, which is a really big wooden coaster, and it's very old. Like my parents rode the Scream Machine as teenagers, I think, and it's there's two couples. It's me and a girl and another guy and a girl, and I'm like, yes. I do this thing sometimes, especially with people that I mess with them a little. I tell this long, elaborate lie, and at the end of it, I said, they're like, "Wow, really?" And I go, "No, not at all. I made all that up." And I'm just like, "This is the Scream Machine, constructed in 1923, originally from Coney Island." That's right. This roller coaster served for 50 years in Coney Island until it was deconstructed in 1973 and brought piece by piece down to Atlanta. You see the salt air up there. Just doing a number on the old girl. But down here in sunny Georgia, she's restored to new, and she actually goes 8 miles per hour faster down here. This is a piece of history. And the girl goes, "Wow, really?" And I go, "No, no, dummy! I just made all that shit up. I don't know anything about fucking." And she slapped me so fucking hard. She slapped me so fucking hard. I mean, it was an audible pow.
She's on team words have consequences. I can tell.
All
I had
because
no
you
problem
lied
with
about a roller coaster. Who cares?
Yeah,
Because she felt I had made her look stupid because she believed me, and I had to some extent. But I weaved a good yarn there, and I didn't hold it against her. You
didn't make her look stupid. Though. Like if somebody lies to me about something I know nothing about, if someone's like, actually the Charizard Pokemon card from 1998, it's worth $28,000 now. Wow. That's crazy, really? Like, no, idiot. You didn't know the value of Pokemon cards from 21 years ago.
It is possible that I had been doing this to her all day. I just don't remember. It is quite possible that every step of the way throughout our journey had been like, and this is the Atlanta Turnpike, originally constructed in 1917 in Omaha, Nebraska. Yes, they brought the entire roadway here to Georgia, and like I may have been doing that all day. And she just
even though Eisenhower initiated the roadway system, it was a lone highway here in Georgia.
The day I was at Disney was the day I walked a total of 9 miles that day. And keep in mind, I was in a wheelchair 2 years ago, so I was pretty much in a lot of pain. I was about to pass out, and I thought, man, here I am in miserable pain and one of the happiest places on earth. Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, supposedly. And we walk by this couple sitting in front of one of the theaters in the Disney California Adventures, the secondary park there. And they were just going at it. I don't remember what it was, but that woman was just unloading on her husband for whatever boyfriend.
So going at it, they were fighting. They weren't fucking. It can mean more than one thing.
No, I wish.
At first, I thought that
way better.
They were going at it, and he was unloading on her.
Oh, that was hot, right? Like I would pay to see that at the Disneyland.
Like, is he finger banging this chick at the Magic Kingdom? Anyway,
no, but it's the other thing. They were just screaming at each. Well, she was doing most of the screaming, and he was doing most of the calming. And I don't know what she was upset about. She was kind of a bigger girl. He was kind of a smaller guy. Maybe she didn't fit on a ride, or maybe she was tired or just irritated. I was
tired of feeding her those $28 hot dogs.
Could have very well been that. And all I could think was, number one, you're doing this at the happiest place on earth. The second thing I could think was, you're ruining all these other people's time except mine, because I'm laughing my ass off. This is hysterical to watch her like get, because she's sitting on a bench because she's obviously heavy and tired, and he's standing up in front of her like, baby, I'm sorry, can you calm down, baby, I'm sorry. And so you're affecting all these people that are, there's people paid $200 for the ticket.
Listen,
sure,
I only brought you to get to the front of the line. You get your big ass up, put that $28 hot dog down, and let's get on the screen.
I'm thinking if I'm in that situation and she needs to sit, then I need to walk. Fuck this.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on,
not here to
piggyback
absorb your
style.
abuse.
Come on, piggyback style, literally.
No,
And then-
no. Like you sit there. I'll circle back in 90 minutes and see if you're still pissed.
Just say I gotta poop, and then go do your own thing for an hour.
right. Let her calm. Right. Yeah. Go do Guardians. You ride across the street from Guardians of the Galaxy. Go ride Guardians of the Galaxy. She ain't fitting on that, dude. So it's gonna be okay. Go ride something. Let her calm down. Let her eat like 6 or 7 bags of popcorn and 2 churros, and she's gonna be fine.
You're going to go in debt.
Right.
6 or 7 bags of popcorn. Do they have financing?
No shit.
The